My name's Clinton Montague. I own all rights to the #1 best-selling book, The Guvnor. Having read this amazing true story of the life of Lenny Mclean, I knew then I was the man to produce and direct this film and bring Lenny's dream to the silver screen. Having spoken with Peter Gerrard in length about the story that I wanted to portray, I submitted my bid for the rights. I was told by Robert Smith Literary Agency that due to my integrity and passion for the telling of the story, my bid was accepted and I gained the rights in perpetuity, not only for the film but for the music and all underlying rights including merchandising worldwide. My job is to transform Peter Gerrard's written word from the book up onto the big screen.
I'm Peter Gerrard, co-author with Lenny Mclean of his life story, The Guvnor, #1 bestseller.
Producing a film to me is like running a company. You need to have a product, which we've got. We've got a #1 best-selling book. You need to have a sales and marketing strategy in place, which we've already done. To succeed in any business, you need confidence and belief in your own ability. I gained as much experience as I could in all aspects of the film industry. I became vice chairman of an international sales agent, and being quoted by Coutts Bank as a successful entrepreneur, we gained a credit line to produce British films, working with worldwide distribution companies. The development of The Guvnor is in advanced stages. We've got our draft budget, which has been put together by Guvnor, a very well-established line producer, has worked with our own Linda LaPlante and Simon Channing-Williams, both very established film producers.
The book was published, immediate success. We did a signing together and they queued round the shop and halfway down the road. 2 weeks later, it went straight into #1.
He died on Tuesday afternoon. On Wednesday morning we found the book was #1, but I think old Lenny's up in heaven laughing down and thinking, yeah, I told you I could beat anybody.
Sold in excess of 1 million in hardback. Paperback came out, that's catching up close to the 1 million. Walk into any bookshop in the land, The Guvnor will be on the shelves. No question. And it's selling weekly, hundreds of copies. There's just a phenomenal audience out there. It's been translated into our languages worldwide. And it's a phenomenon that just doesn't go away. It appealed to everyone. Children 12 years old, right through to grandmothers. There's humour, tears, there's just every ingredient which will make the film. There's very much two sides of Lenny. The tough guy, the working man.
See, that's how I would do it.
Who did what he had to do to put steam on the table, as you put it, but there was the other side that was a guy full of humour.
As I was walking through St Paul, some lady grabbed me by the hand.
And he knew when he won the title, it wasn't just a boxing title, it was a way of life then. You look after your manner. In Lenny's case, his manner became very big.
I was born probably a lovely kid. Then my father died when I was 4, and a stepfather moved in when I was 5. He broke my legs when I was 5, broke my jaw when I was 6, broke all my ribs when I was 7, bashed me around until I was 12. I went to a poor school to get away from me. I went out thieving and I went to a borstal. I went to prison. And I was bashed as a kid by this evil stepfather. And then what happens, hate builds up inside you, and you hate the world.
He tried all different kind of jobs. He couldn't get on with what he called the suits, and he was soon introduced to another way of earning money, and that was bare knuckle fighting.
You know, you've got to survive in the East End. Be the best fighter. Be the Guvnor.
In particular, he fought a guy, Roy Shaw, who had the title of the Guvnor. He beats Roy Shaw. He's hailed as the Guvnor, and no one can ever dispute that.
And now Lenny Mclean is synonymous with the word Guvnor. You say Guvnor, it's Lenny, always.
And became the king of the bouncers.
Bouncer means tough guy.
He was the bouncer of the Hippodrome.
Good evening, sir. Thank you. Have a nice night. Now, when the guys come in who want to be tough guys, then there's a different look. You want to see that look?
He developed a reputation which was nationwide as being a man of violence.
As soon as there was trouble, I would turn in a second from a nice guy to a raving lunatic.
and after a period of time he very seldom actually had to use violence in order to get his point across.
All them years, all I know is violence, 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 violence.
One day, somebody asked Lenny, why don't you try a bit of acting?
People I think compare me to Marlon Brando.
And lo and behold, Lenny became an actor, most famous for his role in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
All right, my son.
Whilst he was filming Lock, Stock, he thought he had the flu.
I went to the hospital, they done a scan. They said, you got cancer of the brain, cancer of the lungs, and I was paralysed down one side. But I will fight till the end.
Thousands are this lunchtime paying tribute to Lenny Mclean, the bare-knuckled boxer fondly known as the Guvnor.
He was a smashing bloke, nice bloke.
Just a man out to earn a living, wasn't he?
Lenny was just Lenny, wasn't he? Just one of the characters of the East End.
I know he's just well respected right there. A lot of people are going to miss him in that.
He wasn't just an ordinary person, he became a star. He's got a #1 book.
He was infectious, you know. I mean, if you was around him, you know, he brought the best out in you.
49's far too young for anybody to buy, especially someone like Lenny.
As one of his old cronies put it, the boy from nowhere who got somewhere.
He was known as the hardest man in Britain, and it was the only fight he couldn't win.
My first AD, Kevin Wesley, his resume dates back as far as films such as Memphis Belle. He's worked on 102 Dalmatians, and most recently The Life and Death of Peter Sellers, which I believe is very apt for our project.
I'm Kevin Wesley, the first assistant director on The Guvnor. I've been around the industry for about 25 years now as a third assistant, second assistant, and the last 7 or 8 years as a first assistant, working on high budget, low budget, medium budget, TV, documentaries, commercials, basically anything that goes through a camera I've worked on. The Guvnor is a project that deserves a shot in light of some of the successful British films that have been made recently, Lock, Stock, Snatch, even as far back as The Craze. I mean, I think the public have always had a fondness for this type of film. It's a story that should be told. It's not an out-and-out gangster film. This is a story of a man and why he chose that way to live. So I think in light of some of the British films that have been made, this stands a very good chance of being successful.
I'm a one-off.
We're thinking about filming it within 8 weeks between Pinewood Studios, where we have the facilities to build certain sets. And part of my job will be to work out logistically and economically which sets would be advisable to build on the stage or go for real in what's left of the old East London. That is my responsibility, is to make sure that the production stays on track, on schedule, and that's what we'll achieve.
Gary Shaw, cinematographer, comes very highly recommended from technicians here at Pinewood Studios. He is a magician at painting the lights.
I'm Gary Shaw. I've worked on several feature films, Mummy, World Is Not Enough, Mummy 2, Harry Potter. Clint and I have been in discussion about the overall look of the film. We feel that it's going to take a few different looks because of the different eras that Lenny's life went through. Some of it will be urban and gritty, some of it will be slightly more nightclub orientated, maybe more 80s towards colours and things that were kind of in vogue at that time, to make the thing look more and more real. Maybe using some of the techniques I've used in action stuff that I've done, we can make this slightly more gladiatorial, in so much as in the early parts of Gladiator, when the real serious violence is going on, the skinny shutter angles that you may or may not have seen really bring that graphicness of the violence and the sort of movement to the front of your head, to the fore of your mind, if you like.
The Guvnor doesn't mean it's I can fight you. It's what's in the rib cage.
So during the film, there's many different moods that Lenny goes through. You know, like his childhood moments, his falling in love with Val, his anger moments, and his full-on temper meltdown, basically. Each of those scenarios needs to be given a different look to convey that to the audience, and we'll do that, you know, using light and mood and various other different little tricks we've got, obviously. And my job is to obviously make sure the cameras and the lights and all the grip equipment, which is anything that a camera goes upon, is going to be absolutely top-notch. It's going to be spot on for this job.
Being the director of The Guvnor, I visualise every written word in the script which has been adapted from the #1 best-selling book. 2/3 of my job has already been achieved. I know what I want to film, and I know what it's going to look like.
Having drafted the script, we found ourselves with 86 different types of characters. The most important one, of course, is finding the right person to play Lenny Mclean, the Governor. A man with an in-depth personality. I found who I believe is the right person. You won't have seen him before. His name's Darren Juniper, and he is the man for the job. It's my job as director to bring the best out in Darren and bring Lenny's character, as if he was Lenny, onto the screen.
Why not? Lenny Mclean.
Music is always an integral part of any film. For the Governor, it's very, very important to establish the right mood and the scene that we are in. With this in mind, we're working with the EMI and their broad library of well-established tracks dating through 5 decades.
You've done it all. They stick together.
Through the development of the Governor, we've also commissioned 2 fantastic tracks. We believe that we're going to be very high in the charts with 2 singles, The Governor.
Yeah, that's who I am. Well, you could beat me, wanna defeat me. You wanna try me? You wanna fight me? I'm the Governor.
And a devoted and dedicated love song called Valerie.
You take away my hurting pain. When you lay down by my side, yeah. And everything seems clear to me now. Just wanna hold you in my arms. Yeah, baby.
An amazing soundtrack score for the whole film. I believe this film will be the largest ever grossing at the box office for a British independent and will sell more DVDs and videos than the book itself worldwide.
Lenny was a pal of mine and I've got the utmost respect for him. And I think his life is fascinating.
And so fast.
Portray that onto the screen, there's no doubt it'll be a big movie. Everybody will earn a lot of money.
To summarise, we have the making of a roller coaster story. We have behind the scenes expertise and a very passionate cast and crew, and all the help we need here at Pinewood Studios to bring to the screen a #1 hit.
You want to see some bulldogs? 2 bulldogs. You got them? Everybody in the country knows me. When I'm driving along and they go, Lenny, I'll go, bosh, #1.